So the ongoing feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, I like to say Baldoni, but I've been corrected in the comments, so I'll say Justin Baldoni from now on. Their feud, which has been going on for almost half a year now, continues. This started on the set of It Ends With Us, right? The adaptation of the successful novel about domestic abuse, and emotional, domestic violence and emotional abuse. She accused him of sexual harassment, though not the way that sounds. He wasn't like a Harvey Weinstein, but rather just saying or doing things that were inappropriate, according to her accusations. And then when bringing it up to Sony, who was the distributor, she's also accusing him of, after that, employing retaliation by conducting a covert smear campaign in the press to discredit her, right? Baldoni then sued Lively, as well as the New York Times, which published her story. He sued them for defamation. Then Lively made her, actually sued Baldoni, where before they were just accusations. Then she followed up with a counter lawsuit. And ever since then, they've been taking shots at one another in the press with different, bombshell revelations that will totally prove our side. And in effect, the evidence is really just like a Rorschach test that basically just confirms how you already feel, right? But though it's been kind of quiet lately. Like, there was a period where I did a story about this feud every week, or almost every week, for like a month or 2 months, it felt like. But we've had some new developments. So I'll start with the least interesting one, and we'll work our way upwards, so you have something to look forward to. So it's been confirmed that Lively will testify in court against Baldoni. Her attorney, Mike Gottlieb, said, quote, "The ultimate moment for a plaintiff's story is to be told is at trial. We expect that to be the case here with Lively. So we would, of course, expect her to be a witness at her trial. Of course, she's going to testify," end quote. And he also suggests that others will be present to speak, saying, quote, "There are individuals that were witnesses to or experienced misconduct that is relevant to Miss Lively's claims. We expect their testimony, particularly about what took place on set, will come out through live witness testimony," end quote. In response to this, Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, kind of provide a flippant response, like maybe disrespectful, maybe too strong of a word, suggesting that they should hold her deposition at Madison Square Garden, saying, quote, "Hold the deposition at MSG, sell tickets or stream it, and donate every dollar to organizations helping victims of domestic abuse," end quote. So again, kind of making light of the situation, which isn't a great look, but kind of, if nothing else, it speaks to the truth of how the media, this is like red meat for the media, right? And that's why I've been talking about it every week, because the trades keep talking about it, and they keep talking about it because it's salacious, it's tabloid, it's like junk food with the calories of salad, right? It's tabloid-esque content, but it has the substance of a real story. So it's like having your cake and eat it too. But then the bigger new development here is that Baldoni's team has subpoenaed Taylor Swift. Pop sensation Taylor Swift. Of course, very good friend of Blake Lively. And there's rumors that they may also subpoena Hugh Jackman, who of course is good friends with Ryan Reynolds, who of course is married to Blake Lively, right? A representative for Taylor Swift said, quote, "Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release. Given that her involvement was licensing a song for the film, which 19 other artists also did, this document subpoena is designed to use Taylor Swift's name to draw public interest by creating a tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case," end quote. So kind of making this argument that it's really just to have a big splash, have like another win in the press. Again, this is as much a publicity war as it is a legal one, right? And Lively's attorney Gottlieb said, quote, "Why are these people being subpoenaed? Do they have any actual relevance to the case at hand? You can't just go around subpoenaing people because they're famous and you think it will generate a bunch of headlines. And the federal courts don't tolerate that kind of behavior," end quote. In response, Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, like I said, said, quote, "Although obviously uncomfortable for the Lively parties, the truth is not a distraction. The truth has been clearly shown through unedited receipts, documents, and real-life footage. Blake was the one who brought her high-profile friends into the situation without concern for their own personal or public backlash. As the truth shows, she used her dragons, capital D, to manipulate Justin at every turn," end quote. So this is going back to something I've talked about on the channel before, this idea that, you know, the real source of the tension was not sexual harassment, even if that is true, but more so creative differences and Lively wanting to have more say in the creative process, whereas Baldoni was like the writer, director, and producer, right? Which it's not bad for her to want that. It's just clearly a miscommunication and a poor setting of expectations on both sides, right? But this idea that Lively, when they would be having a creative dispute, would kind of name drop Taylor Swift or her husband Ryan Reynolds to kind of send a signal like, I have very powerful friends, you should accommodate what I'm saying or asking for, right? So again, this is really spreading far beyond the initial genesis of this beef. Again, now including friends of both Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Of course, they're also subpoenaing Marvel about the creation of the Nice Pool character in Deadpool Wolverine, which was reportedly based on Justin Baldoni, kind of like a faux feminist who it's all for show, right? But all of these developments, especially Brian Friedman, they're subpoenaing Taylor Swift, the suggestion of holding the deposition at Madison Square Garden. Lively's team has really denounced Baldoni's side of this case, saying, quote, "Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Sarowitz, and team continued to turn a case of sexual harassment and retaliation into entertainment for the tabloids, going as far as suggesting that they sell tickets to a concert venue, Madison Square Garden, to witness Miss Lively's deposition, to subpoenaing Taylor Swift, a woman who has given a voice to millions all over the world. This is a very serious legal matter. This is a very serious legal matter, not Barnum and Bailey circus. The defendants continue to publicly intimidate, bully, shame, and attack women's rights and reputations, including in the past month seeking to strike down for all a powerful California victims' rights law, calling it, quote-unquote, unconstitutional. The disturbing actions by a billionaire, men who made their careers as female allies, and their team continue to show their true colors," end quote. So, again, pretty damning. And again, they've really spent a lot of their energy prematurely, because it seems, from my understanding, this trial's not happening until next March. So I don't know. I guess we'll still be hearing about stuff because they're going to have depositions and stuff before the trial and whatnot, and new revelations will come out, I'm sure. And I guess the question is, everyone agrees this is bad for both parties, this whole feud. So I guess it'll be a question of, is this a game of chicken, and someone will blink before, so this doesn't actually go to trial? Because again, the court of public opinion is not the same as the courts, right? There's a higher standard, and you are under oath, right? So, one side or the other, maybe both sides, don't want to have, maybe they don't want to have that magnifying glass on them in general, particularly as it relates to the situation. So only time will tell what's going to happen here. But I wanted to make sure you guys knew that there are still some updates happening in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, It Ends With Us feud saga. Wow, what an interesting story. I'm sure you have some thoughts about the topic, so comment below, let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really, really helps people find the channel and makes me feel all warm inside. Until next time, I'm Peter Mancuso. Peace out.